New wrongful death lawsuits have been filed following the 2025 plane crash that killed NASCAR driver Greg Biffle and 6 others. The estates of pilot Dennis Dutton and his son Jack Dutton are suing Biffle's estate, seeking $15 million each in damages. The lawsuits claim that Biffle, as the owner of the aircraft, failed to properly maintain the plane, contributing to that deadly crash.
7 people died when the plane went down near Statesville in December 2025. The cause is still under federal investigation. A separate lawsuit had already been filed on behalf of Biffle's daughter as families continue to seek accountability months after this tragedy.
Joining us is our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes. Khalif, when you look at something like this, why does the ownership of an airplane like Biffle had here, why does that ownership place such a heavy legal responsibility? Because this isn't necessarily pilot error.
Yeah, well, it just depends on who's bringing the claim. And so you and Annie both mentioned it. There's 2 different cross claims. You have Dutton versus Biffle, pilot versus the owner of the plane. But then you have Biffle versus Dutton. You have the folks that they believe passed away based on the pilot's actions. And so both claims will be alleging different things. But if you're looking at the Dutton versus Biffle one, it's that they're saying that the owner of the airplane had a duty to maintain it, to operate it properly, to ensure that the overall safety of the aircraft was in the proper working order so that he could fly it. On the other side, they're saying it was your error, that you were not properly maintaining the aircraft. Additionally, you didn't have a qualified co-pilot to fly with you. And so these cross complaints will have a number of things that will be similar, but specifically to your question, the ownership is that if you weren't properly maintaining it, then your negligence led to this tragedy.
Well, so as we mentioned, the NTSB is still investigating this. We have some preliminary ideas. Can these lawsuits even move forward if there is not a conclusive determining cause of this crash?
You can. I mean, you probably most of the time want to wait until you have some final report so you can use that final report to bolster your position or your claim. But the curveball here is that in North Carolina, we have something called contributory negligence, and I've talked about it here a number of times on the air. It's a typical torts claim. Yes, a number of folks passed away, 7. This is a wrongful death claim, the worst type of tort ever. But if you're looking at it from a purely academic standpoint, it's duty, breach, causation, and damages, the normal standard that you would have for a claim. Wrongful death being the worst type of damages. Causation, were you the proximate cause of my injury? But when I mention the contributory negligence, unlike the comparative fault, which is in other states, contributory negligence in our state means if you're 1% at fault, then you can be barred. So back to Jason's original question, if the Biffle estate, if the ownership was not done properly to the maintenance of the aircraft, and then at some point it contributed to it going down, then Biffle's claim would be barred. But then also on the other side, if there was some error in the pilot or the co-pilot, then their complaint could be barred. So you could actually potentially see both of these claims being dismissed because there's not, or at least being barred because there is this contributory negligence and they have contributed in some capacity, even in our state, if it's even 1%.
Wow.
Khalif, help us understand how complex of a case this is, because you're dealing with unimaginable grief. You got 7 people that lost their life, multiple families, multiple estates. You're dealing with liability. You're dealing with aviation safety. Like how complex is something like this?
Extremely complex. I mean, yeah. I practiced personal injury for a number of years. I mean, and if you have a multi-car accident, it's extremely complex. You feel like you want to pull your hair out, and pun intended.
We
right?
see what happened.
Right. But with all sincerity, when you're dealing with the outside influence with, a high profile case, then you're dealing with the NTSB, you're dealing with other investigators that are dealing with this, local law enforcement that are investigating. There are so many different agencies that you have to try to work with. You have your own private investigators that you're working with to try to piece together exactly what happened. So, I mean, there are a lot of moving parts. But what I can tell you is that at its root core, if you have even a 1%, I have to overemphasize that, this is going to be extremely complicated. We do have an exception to that in our state, which is the last clear path chance, which is a way you can work around that 1% if you contributed, but like your contribution, there was no way to avoid it, then you can still bring a claim. but those are extremely rare. And so I'll be watching this to see just from a legal perspective and from an academic perspective how this goes. But from the family side, obviously they'll be watching to get some kind of closure.
Oh yeah, and it seems like and when we get NTSB reports, it's usually not one thing that causes an incident. So if you had to pick sides in this to go to court for and battle for, which one do you think you would pick?
The easier side would obviously for me would be the representing the Biffle estate in pointing claim to the co-pilot and the pilot, just because the earlier reports from the NTSB recognized that the co-pilot was not properly trained or endorsed to be in that seat. So that for me would be the easier one. But when you listen to some of the things they mentioned that they're talking about, the pilot is talking about some of the mechanical things failing on the plane in real time. But I'd say right now, the Biffle estate probably has the stronger claim.
This is going to last quite a while,
Yeah.
it sounds like. All right, Khalid, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.